to D.C. President Trump promising to take his anti-crime fight to cities beyond the Capitol. He's touting the success, though, in Washington. And let's go to Washington right now, where we find Doug Luzader. Doug, good to see you. Hope it was a good weekend.
Hey, good morning.
So, the president touting better crime numbers here. Now he said Chicago and New York could be next. We hear of a lot of crime there. What is the response there on all fronts from that?
Well, the response from the leaders of those cities, not entirely positive, but the president says that what's happening in D.C. is something of a template for what he would like to do in other cities. And, the crackdown here in D.C., the president says, is showing positive results. Crime, he says, is down in recent weeks, and that's the result, he says, of these National Guard deployments as well as the federal takeover of the police department here. But as we've talked about before, you look at a city like Chicago, for instance, which has a very, very high homicide rate, high crime rates, although leaders there say they're coming down. The president just doesn't have the kind of flexibility in Chicago that he has here in the nation's capital, where there's this kind of federal overlay where the president can actually take over the police department. He can't do that kind of thing in Chicago. So we don't know what kind of intervention he's talking about or what that would look like if, in fact, the president decides to take action.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that play out, because I think, Doug, most Americans would say there is high crime in a lot of our cities. I mean, we've seen even downtown Orlando, they've had discussions about crime, but how you get there to solving it, and especially when you bring in National Guard, that creates a whole different argument.
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's a big debate, of course, kind of a left-right debate on this, whether you need to really crack down on crime to make significant consequences for those who perpetrate crime, or whether you need more kind of support services for low-income folks. I mean, there are different approaches here, and certainly Chicago's mayor takes a very different approach than the president takes on this, and there's just almost kind of inherent to that a big clash ahead.
He does indeed. Let's finish with this, Doug. We know the president's set to meet with the president of South Korea today. What are they going to address?
Yeah, well, they'll no doubt be talking about trade. That's South Korea is a big trade partner. Try to finalize kind of the final terms of a trade deal with them. But you also get into a lot of national security issues with South Korea, and the role that U.S. troops play in Korea, as well as the kind of combined effort to take on China.
Yep, long allies for sure. Got to leave it there today, Doug. Good to see you this morning.
Thanks so much.